So just a continuation of talking about the dream and stuff, because my so-called time limit was reached. It's so funny because the other day when I wanted the time limit to be reached sooner, it took 50 something minutes and it still wasn't reached. But today it want to cut up. But but yeah. So anyway, like I said, in a dream, it's just it to me. I guess it kind of indicates that I don't know if the color of the shirt is what it is or just whatever, or the way he was looking, but it indicates that he just still not at the place of being able to lead me personally properly. I don't know if somebody else might feel like that he can lead them well. And he was just like, when I met him, he was like, I won't steer you wrong. And I'm just saying to myself, I didn't ask your ass to steer me nowhere to begin with. I ain't getting in no seat with you. But I think I ended up doing so, of course. And yeah, no, we went on a wild ride, and it was beyond wild, and it just wasn't. It just it was sometimes exciting, but not really the good excitement, and it just would never get to that. I'm a type of person where I like calmness. I don't like all that rah rah. I'm not saying that I don't have no ratchet with me or whatever, but I don't, and that I don't like some of it. I ain't gonna front now, but it's very sparingly. I like it calm. He told me, he was like, he liked the applause of the people and the eyes of the people and stuff like that. I don't give a damn about that. I don't want that. You don't need to be looking over here at me. And I really do, honestly, and I hate to say it sometimes, but my daughter's so-called dad used to always say, don't watch me, watch the... He's at, at least he was saying that. But he clowned out too as well. Like, he liked to... Once he realized he can get a laugh off of people and stuff like that, he still did, but he wasn't necessarily trying to. The boys are so-called that, really was at one point in time a self-proclaimed comedian, and I wanted him to do that, and I was encouraging him to do that. So he can be clownish too, but my daughter so-called dad called him a flat-out clown. It was funny just sounding. It's funny coming from somebody that I really deem as a damn a clown type of nigga, like at least a clown type. But the ones that especially, him, I didn't even set out to deal with him, but the people I deal with, baby, I'd be trying to keep them on a serious note. Like, we got time for playing games and stuff later on. And when we do play games, it needs to be the ones, um, it don't need to be with people emotions and stuff. So, trying to help them on the straight and narrow when it came to that, but whatever. Hopefully they took heed to whatever, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't trying to ruin people's fun or be a party pooper. I just was trying to be work. Like, let's get the work done first, and then we be concerned about the play. Or whatever. This thing kind of agitated me, like, girl, go cut that grass. But I'm not moving. I'm not moving right now. I'm not moving in that direction. But, so yeah. I'm supposed to be uploading the video that just cut off on me. Oh yeah, speaking of eBay, like they told me they was gonna cover shipping costs and stuff for my a returned item, and told me like 2 weeks ago they would pay me back. It was on like $7 or $8, but still, I want my money. And I had to, you gotta have a PayPal account with this email address, and I'm like, what? So I had to make a PayPal account. I made one, and I don't see no coins, no nothing. Y'all ain't running my coins back into my account. So that's the beginnings of me making my way out when it comes to, honey, I don't even care if it's a damn, we tried it, but it didn't go through or whatever. That's the beginnings of me making my way out of your quote-unquote online establishment, because I don't play them type of games, period. And the fact that the person's name was similar. It was the same similar name as my so-called mom, but it was also my so-called stepmom. Got the same name. Funny, right? That my so-called dad chose two females that same name. That is crazy as I don't know what. Well, similar to my boy's dad too. He done been with. Now it ain't me, but he been with somebody else, same name, whatever. He got with one, and then he ended. I ain't gonna say ended up, but where he had been as of last time I knew. Um. So yeah, that pattern showed up in my life. Who is this just staring? That pattern showed up in my life. A few times, more than I would hope. And I'm just hoping and trusting God that it don't show up in my son's life. Like, don't y'all go out here messing around and messing over, trying to make two females with the same name become one and on. Hell no. The devil is a lie. They in there making noise now, but yeah, so all that or whatever. Yeah, this is the second part to that video from my dream from earlier. But yeah, I just don't want to get excited just because he's appearing in my dream. And it feels good, if you just got somebody's best interest. And I once had it at this point, I got so tired and so worn out that I was like, baby, I don't care what happened to this one. Y'all not understanding. I do not care what happens to him. I tried to have a care and a concern, but he did entirely too much. And then, it's so funny because the old girl that he was dealing with, she was like, oh, he doing too much. Honey, okay. You ain't seen nothing yet. And I wasn't hoping and wishing that she had to go through it. I really, of course, in the beginning, I was hoping, girl, just leave him alone. And, I don't want to say send him back home because I guess I had too much pride about that. Like, but it is what it is. He went over there and then she did ask me eventually, you want me to send him back? You want me to, girl, what? If you claiming that's your man and you talking about, do I want you to send him back? What kind of, what you think this is? And hell no. Let his ass stay right where he at or whatever the case may be. Or send his ass somewhere else. Don't send that motherfucker over here. Period. Because, yeah, you shouldn't be having no type of license to send him anywhere. Ain't no way. Ain't no damn way. It just wasn't supposed to be possible in my eyes. So, to me, that's just like the ultimate screw over. And, I just wish him well, in a sense, where he could, be by himself and kind of focus. Kind of like he was doing in the dream where it wasn't nobody standing beside him. I was watching him, and I kind of, I don't really want that now, but I used to just kind of want to be able to observe him and kind of watch over him and stuff like that. And, try to have him on call if me and the kids need something, this and the third. Heck yeah, be there. But other than that, I don't want to link back up with him in that type of way that I have been intimate and stuff like that, baby. I really need something. To me, I need something much more, and just somebody so much better. But I just feel like too, they better. They definitely know how to plot better. That's my feelings. They might not necessarily take on those aspects, but I just feel like they really do have the capability of knowing how to outsmart and plot better. But just would hope that this person would see. I'm like, I don't need to do that with her. I don't need to do that with her. I shouldn't want to do that with her. Or even if the feeling it rise up, be like, no, I want that discipline or whatever. So with the boys and so-called dad, I really do feel like he was getting to that place, but I'm telling you, it was so many, those so-called several, they just would never let him get to the point of rest and relaxation and stuff like that. And regarding me, but just even within himself, like, no, buddy. And there's some of it, I ain't gonna say it was my fault, but I was feeling good because of where we was at and headed. And one day I remember going outside He was in here asleep. I could say I put him to sleep, but no, he was in here asleep, and I went out and sat on the porch, and his so-called dad was of course across the street and stuff like that, and just sitting over there, being messy and meddlesome, and didn't realize it then. Could have been like it was made to seem like he was watching over him, but he still just had those bad, crazy plans for his son. And he did tell me from the get go. I ain't gonna lie, he did expose that. He was like, whatever, he gonna do what he see me do or whatever I tell him to do or something like that. And that was before I had my sons with him, so I didn't know I wasn't trying to get in it anyway, so I wasn't even trying to deal with them like that. Not them. I was kind of up close and personal with him. But, yeah, lo and behold, he walked over here, and as soon as he said it, like, that's almost as soon as he said, yeah, he named his name or whatever, he's like, yeah, he gonna do exactly what I tell him to do, or what he see me do, or something like that. And his other son was living then, so he came over here with him too, and I was just talking to him or whatever. And honey, lo and behold, yep, he did. He followed in his daddy's so-called footsteps or whatever, made his way over here and was, yeah, mocking and mimicking. And it's like, damn, baby, your daddy he got some ultimate plans for you. And honestly, he got one of them up out of here, successful in killing your kids off, baby. You shouldn't have to battle and go back and forth and stuff with your parents and stuff. I don't feel like you should. And that's why I look at my kids. I be like, honey, my daughter shouldn't have to battle and go back and forth and fight. Now, I feel like, yeah, you need to respect me. You need to take heed to what I say. But that's my feelings. And when it comes to, if I'm a true woman and believer of God, and I'm going to be like, God, I gave her to you. I trust her with you. She ain't doing what I'm advising her to do. I'm not going to be bitter at my child and stuff like that. I'm going to be forgiving. And that's why I just had to, before I got myself off the deep end upset, I had to just take my hands off and like, let her hear from the Lord. And hopefully she ain't choosing to serve no other type of gods and stuff. But, yeah, didn't want to get my emotions up. I'm still talking about this, I know, because I really literally sometimes gotta seemingly talk myself out of it because of that relationship that I had with him. I was like loving him. I just remember, and we didn't have much going on, but it was the love that was to me sustaining stuff and stuff like that. And it was the love and it was the feelings of love, but and his so-called love bombing and stuff like that. But I felt like it was so genuine and real when he would come through with it. Like when he missed me, I could feel it, and it would trickle down to yes, my kids and stuff like that. Like one time I went out of town, and I was gone for quite a few days, a week or so, or whatever. And it was like as long as he could have access to me while I'm being here, he didn't appreciate me like that. But when I was gone, he missed me. I came back. He was happy to see me, but then it's so funny because he will try to play it off like he ain't that happy. It was funny. It's funny looking back, but it ain't funny going through that stuff, and it ain't fun going through that because I was in a happy place and I was feeling good, and it was like, well, I'm not in a happy place and I'm not feeling good or whatever, so everybody finna feel it, and I was the one that was up close and personal, so I felt it like immediately after we had a high moment that we could go down so low. Now, thank God it wasn't to us most of the time fighting or anything like that, but just the feeling of feeling like I'm up high, definitely in a happy place, and then immediately after we're taking so low. It's one thing to come back down off of cloud 9, but I just couldn't deal with that. And I talk about it, I guess, because I'm like, man, I loved this man like I had never loved nobody before, and boy, he took me there. And I had already been through some of that similar stuff. It was so different with him, but still some similar stuff with my daughter's so-called dad. So I was just like, I know he not gonna do that to me. I know we're not gonna go through this. But we did and worse, honey. So, and yeah, when you sitting there telling me stuff ain't that deep, but honey, you involved to the point where somebody is wanting to try to come for me because of you laying up with them or whatever. They bypassing whatever you doing to them, and they want to come for me. The devil is a lie. I was like, no, hell no, ain't no way. And he did that more than once, where people tried to come for me because of, or he did it, he allowed it, or he, engaged in it. I'm like, ain't no damn way. You ain't gonna use me as no bait. You ain't finna use me, no. But anyway, it was good to see him doing some, in the dream, doing some work and whatever. And it was seeming like work. It was work at my house. And putting up a fence, because I always talk about a fence. Now, I really want a physical fence in this yard, but yeah, it was a fence or whatever. Not that a fence can protect you from everything, but just a fence would just help me out tremendously to feel a little more secure as far as people minding their business. And me knowing that I didn't invite or welcome you over there, and honey, y'all don't understand. And I would put, if it, like, you know how fences have cracks in it and stuff like that, I would put up the I would put up the I was thinking about the fence that my so-called stepdad put up at our old house back in the day. But and just trying to figure out, like, okay, he did that, but the neighbors next door could still see me, even though the fence was kind of tall. The neighbor's house was kind of, they had a patio that was a deck that was up high, and they could still see over there and stuff like that. So um almost like defeated the purpose, kind of. It wasn't really a fence from them because they was cool with those people, but yeah, I don't even know what I was about to say because I started thinking about that. Yeah, just to help people mind their business and stuff like that. Lord knows, I was just, oof. I would so greatly appreciate it. So greatly. People jump, I know too, people jump fences and all that, whatever, because I've honestly had that experience. But yeah, here's GBD. But, mm, and that's the thing. I be feeling like, okay, sometimes it was, everything he did was to protect, but I don't know, man. You just be so double-minded that you be like, oh, I don't know which parts was to protect and which parts was out to get me. And he told me flat out, I give, but I take back. And it's like, man, well, I understand you're trying to balance it out or make it neutral, but you just, you need to pick a side. And are you gonna be a giver or a take back or an Indian giver? That's basically what you are. But yeah, like I was saying, good to see him doing some work. And like I said, regarding my house or the location I was at, this was back in the day. So, well, again, it looks like it was from back when. And it looked like he was that, younger back then too, as far as like how I used to see him. Because, I don't even know how he looks these days. I gained all this weight, honey. I don't know how he looks. And I never thought that I would be at that place, but of not being concerned. I don't know how his mom truly felt about his dad, but like I said, I was there when she linked up with him. They wasn't together or nothing like that, but I was there when she linked up with him. She was looking cute, and he was just licking his chops and what's up, baby mama, and this, that. Baby, it makes me feel like I don't want no damn encounter with my so-called kids baby. I'm good on it. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me, sweetheart. Because it wasn't too long after that, she was dead. I'm not saying he did it by doing that, but she died a couple years after that. That was 2015. She died 3 years later, you know. Um, but again, it was in my yard, and I just seen. It was like I was seeing. Of course, I seen in their son. um, just looking at that truck because last I knew he was a truck driver or whatever. But anyway, I seen in their son what the result of what they produced, and some stuff was definitely good about him, the work ethic and stuff like that, the getting up and going to work. I mean, he'd get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm guessing to go to work, but that could have been when he was plotting to go out and be with other females and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no telling with him. Boy, they write a book about his life, honey. I might would check it out if I was 80 and older. Cause some of it would probably just be too heartbreaking. Like if they could get all the details, but yeah, or do a movie about his life, should I say? It's because, especially because of him, he liked TV. So, but yeah, I was there when they linked up or whatever, and they was hashing out, their old stuff or whatever. And like I said, I feel like she was getting her healing from what all he did to her and stuff like that. She was getting her moment to talk to him and tell him about himself, and tell him, and more so tell him about how to interact with her son. Don't be charging my son this, that, and the third, and all this, whatever. He was trying to get me on his side, and I'm sitting here like, boy, I don't even like you. I didn't like her either, but I definitely liked her more than I liked him. But they both did things to me, like through through their son and stuff like that. So came from me and stuff like that. But after she died, his dad stopped coming over here around. Like he almost felt like he was next or whatever. I mean, and granted, you probably should have been damn first, but I'm not gonna touch that. I'm not bothering it. Um. So yeah, all that or whatever. It's good to see him doing some work, but he still had on. For me, black is like be cautious. And I'm steady mo walking to the door with the breasts hanging out and stuff like that. And just like I said, I'm glad I woke up out of that dream because I don't know what I ended up doing. And again, if it was old, then I know what I did. I gave into whatever it was. But now, baby, I'm goody. I don't want to give into that. I loved that man. And, I definitely don't feel that sense of love for him no more. But that was some hard times, and it's just crazy to me because I've seen other people go through stuff like this, but I was definitely at the outside looking in. I thought that certain people was gonna end up back together. That before they passed, I thought they was gonna end up back together, and very well could. But I thought certain people just don't end up back together who had their first child together and stuff like that, and that's what I saw when I was young. Like people haven't seen the stuff from my eyes the way I see it. um. As far as the relationships or whatever, I seen, let me just say, a male cousin of mine, and I was in the room and stuff like that before they